So what if I told you that a simple journal could do way more than just help you organize your thoughts? What if it could actually help you rewire your brain? Today, we're going to dive into something called the NeuroDiary, a system that was born from one person's incredible and really powerful personal story.
So, meet the creator, Mew Mao. She's an illustrator who, after a really serious illness and a tumor in her spinal cord, had to go through intense neurorehabilitation. I mean, she literally had to relearn everything, walking, eating, all the most basic functions. And it was during that journey that she realized her 20-year journaling habit could become this amazing tool for cognitive training. That discovery is what led to this whole system.
You've probably heard this idea a million times, right? It's all over the place. This idea that journaling is mainly about offloading your thoughts, to make space in your brain. But what if that's not the whole story? What if it's actually a bit of a myth? Well, here's the big insight. Neuroscientists, they kind of push back on that whole making space idea. Your brain, believe me, it has plenty of room. The reality is, writing stuff down doesn't empty your head, it strengthens it. You're actually building new, more complex neural pathways around that information, which makes it so much easier to process, remember, and use later on.
And that brings us to the real heart of this, the idea that you can actively rewire your brain with just a pen and some paper. It's not about passively storing things away. It's an active brain workout every single day.
This is exactly why having a structured system is so much more powerful than just scribbling random notes. When you organize your daily life in one place, it stops being just a to-do list and becomes, well, your own personal data set. You can flip back and actually see how you felt in the winter versus the spring, track your productivity, analyze patterns, and really pinpoint what your best moments were.
Okay, so how do you actually turn a plain old journal into this amazing brain training tool? Well, the NeuroDiary uses what you could call a multi-sensory method, and it's built on 3 really simple, distinct layers.
The process itself is, it's super simple, but it is so effective. It works by layering 3 different activities. First, you engage your brain by writing things out by hand. Then, you sort that information using color. And finally, you add another layer of meaning with simple images. Each step is designed to light up a totally different part of your brain.
It all starts with the physical act of writing, which is a great little workout for your motor skills every day. But here's the real pro tip. Try to alternate between cursive and print. It turns out they are handled by 2 completely different areas of the brain. So when you use both, say for headings and for the main text, you're giving yourself a much bigger cognitive boost.
Now the second layer is color, and this is not just to make your pages look pretty. Using different colors for, say, work events versus personal feelings is a really powerful sorting technique. It creates another whole layer of association in your brain, linking a memory not just to words, but to a specific color, which makes that connection so much stickier.
And the final layer? Images. And we're not talking about high art here. We're talking simple pictograms, little doodles, even stickers. They add a crucial third dimension. They tap into the part of your brain that handles visual and abstract info. And this multi-layered approach, motor skills, color, visuals, that's what makes the information get so deeply embedded in your memory.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking right about now. All this talk of color and drawing, what if I can't even draw a convincing stick figure? What if my journal just ends up looking like a total mess instead of one of those perfect, lush diaries you see all over the internet? Believe me, that fear is a huge barrier for so many people.
And that is exactly why the NeuroDiary was so thoughtfully designed, to help you get over those fears and be useful for everyone, not just for professional artists.
So if you look closely at the design, you might notice some things that seem a little odd. Like, for instance, why do some of the little graphics and boxes seem to spill over the lines in the columns? Is that a mistake? A typo?
No way! It's actually a deliberate psychological trick. By putting design elements in that already break the rules, the diary is basically teaching you that it's okay to go outside the lines. It normalizes imperfection, and it gives you permission to be bold, without that constant fear of messing it up.
Okay, here's another weird one. Check out the little kittens for tracking your mood. You'd probably expect them to be on some kind of color scale, right? Like white for a good day, black for a bad day. but they're colored in this seemingly random, totally illogical way. What's up with that?
The reason for this is actually pretty profound. The creator doesn't believe we should be labeling our emotions as good or bad. Think about it. Anger, sadness, just feeling meh. They can all be perfectly valid and appropriate reactions to whatever's happening. The goal isn't to judge your feelings, it's just to notice them and describe them. The colors are just labels, not value judgments.
Even the size of the paper was a huge decision. A4 format really hits that sweet spot. You know, smaller journals can feel super cramped, and for some people, they're a real challenge for their motor skills. But then these huge journals often just leave you with these vast, empty pages, which can make you feel like your life isn't eventful enough. A4 gives you enough space to breathe without being intimidating.
All right, last design question, and trust me, it's a big one. It's a planner. So why in the world are there no dates printed in it?
The answer, in one word, is freedom. That pressure to write every single day is the #1 reason most people quit journaling. An undated journal takes all that guilt away. You can start in the middle of July. You can skip a week for a vacation, or even a whole month because you were sick, and then you just pick it right back up without leaving that trail of shameful blank pages staring back at you. It's designed for real, messy, human lives.
So, let's wrap all of this up and look at how you can actually put these principles to work for yourself, whether you decide to use this specific diary or not.
So, here are the big things to take away. First, remember that journaling is an active process of building your brain, not just clearing your head. To really make it work, engage your senses, write, color, and use simple images. Find ways to take the pressure off yourself. Embrace the mess. Imperfection is part of the process. And finally, start seeing your daily life for what it is, this rich set of data that you can use to learn about who you are.
Because ultimately, whether it's just a few simple notes or it's a multicolored masterpiece, your life is a story that's unfolding every single day. So the only real question left is, how will you choose to write it, to learn from it, and maybe even rewire your brain while you're at it?